Welcome to the deep dive. So, cast your mind back, maybe just a year or two ago, when you first started messing around with AI assistants. Remember that initial feeling, that kind of magic trick vibe?
Okay. Yeah.
You'd paste in some text, this clever block, hit enter, and bam, out comes code or marketing copy or, I don't know, a recipe for tiramisu?
Right. The cold brew tiramisu, classic example.
Exactly. And that whole prompt engineering thing, it was addictive, wasn't it, that rush?
It really was.
But then, well, for me at least, and I think for a lot of us, the honeymoon kind of ended. Projects got bigger. Those amazing mega prompts we crafted just started breaking.
Yeah, they snapped.
And the mental effort trying to keep track of everything, all the commands, it felt less like magic and more like, I don't know, juggling bowling pins in a hurricane.
That's a good analogy. I've definitely been there feeling like I needed that third hand just to manage the prompt itself. And you're absolutely not alone in feeling that. That initial power, it was a bit deceptive. Because prompt engineering, really, it's a one-shot thing, a gambit.
One shot. How so?
Well, it fundamentally ignores anything the AI might have learned just yesterday about you, about the project. It's stateless, essentially.
Ah, okay. So that makes the output unreliable.
Incredibly fragile.
Yeah.
One tiny phrasing mistake, one detail it misreads, and poof, your brilliant command sends the results completely off a cliff.
Right. And the effort you put in to perfect that prompt, the payoff just gets smaller and smaller as things get more complex.
Exactly. The mental load was real, and the gains were becoming tiny.
And that frustration, that hitting a wall, is exactly where something really different started to emerge, right? We moved beyond just single commands.
We did. It started maybe just by trying multi-turn chats, feeding the model more info bit by bit. But that evolved. It shifted into a whole new way of working, something much more effective.
It wasn't just tweaking prompts anymore.
No, not at all. We sort of stumbled into practicing what people are now calling context engineering.
Context engineering, and that's exactly what we're diving into today. Our mission here is to unpack what that really means, why it's becoming, the new frontier in how we work with AI, and how it transforms the AI from that single-use tool
A genie in a bottle.
into something more like a genuine long-term partner. And we're basing this whole discussion on insights from a really great new guide, Beyond Prompting, the Context Engineering Guide.
That's right. And just to be clear, for everyone listening, this isn't just tech talk, is it?
Not at all.
For you listening, this is about figuring out how to learn faster, how to get those aha moments when things click.
Yeah, cutting through the noise.
And avoiding that feeling of being overwhelmed by information so you can actually feel well-informed about this huge shift.
Okay, so prompt engineering. We poured all this effort in, right? Crafted the perfect phrases, tried to cover every angle, but you're saying it hit a ceiling. It just wasn't enough anymore.
Yeah, the limits became super clear, especially as projects got bigger or more complex.
How so?
Well, a single prompt, no matter how beautifully you write it, it's just too brittle. It can't remember the conversation from 5 minutes ago, let alone yesterday.
Right, or your preferences or the background details.
Exactly. All that nuance is lost. So you get that fragility we talked about. One tiny slip in phrasing, one variable it doesn't quite catch.
And the whole thing falls apart. Mush, as you said.
Pretty much. And the mental energy required to cram everything into that one perfect prompt, it was exhausting.
Seriously.
And the payoff, the actual productivity gain, just wasn't worth the effort beyond simple tasks.
Okay, so if prompt engineering hit that wall, let's define this new approach. What exactly is context engineering, practically speaking?
Okay, think about it, this analogy from the guide. It's like the difference between barking an order at someone and actually delivering a proper mission briefing.
Okay, I like that. So prompt engineering is the bark.
Yeah, the bark. Direct, one-off. Context engineering, that's the briefing. It's got the maps, the objectives, the backstory, a clear line of communication that actually evolves.
It's the same AI underneath, but you're interacting with it totally differently.
Radically different relationship. Yep.
That makes a lot of sense. So if we were to put like a formal definition on it.
The core idea is this. Context engineering is the deliberate conversational process.
Deliberate and conversational.
Of feeding an AI assistant the right information at the right time. The goal, to get it to act like a long-term partner, not just a single-use tool.
And the core principles behind that.
Super simple, really. Two main things. First, iterative dialogue beats single-shot commands. Always.
Back and forth is better than one big ask.
Exactly. And second, Rich background information matters way more than just fancy wording in the prompt.
You're building the understanding together, step by step.
You're truly building a conversation.
Yeah.
Feeding it details incrementally.
Okay, now this is where I think it gets really illuminating. Can we compare it directly, side by side with that traditional prompt engineering we all started with?
Yeah, the comparison really highlights the shift. Let's break it down like the guide does.
Okay.
Method. Prompt engineering is one and done. Context engineering is all about multi-turn dialogue.
Right. The briefing, not the bark.
Exactly. Goal. Prompt engineering wants an immediate answer. Context engineering aims for shared understanding. It's playing the long game.
Makes sense. Input.
Input scope.
Yep.
Minimal for prompts, right? Just the command. For context engineering, it's rich background plus data that evolves as you talk.
That's a huge difference.
It fundamentally changes the relationship. With prompt engineering, the AI is just a tool. With context engineering, it becomes more like a collaborator.
A collaborator, I like that.
And the outcome.
Outcome. Brittle versus robust and reusable. Prompt outputs often break easily. Context-engineered solutions tend to hold up better, and you can build on them later. Okay, that sounds great in theory, but maybe a bit abstract. The guide had a really good real-world example, didn't it? Can you walk us through that? How did context engineering solve a really specific problem?
Absolutely. It's a great case study. The mission was getting a website, binaryversai.com, to pass its core Web Vitals assessment using Gemini 2.5 Pro.
Core Web Vitals. Okay, website speed stuff.
Yep, performance metrics. And the key thing was the user treated the AI like a teammate, not like a genie you just bark orders at.
Okay, so how did they start? Step one.
Step one was laying the foundation prompt. Think of it like the blueprint for the whole project, the whole conversation.
Setting the stage.
Exactly. The user started the chat with a prompt that went something like, "You are an expert in WordPress speed optimization."
Assigning a role.
With deep understanding of core web vitals, lightspeed caching, and the quirks of advertising scripts.
Defining the specific expertise needed.
Right. Your goal is to help me diagnose and fix any issue stopping binaryversai.com from passing the core web vitals assessment.
Clear goal. Persona, playground, finish line.
You got it.
That feels really important. What happens if you don't do that well? If your foundation prompt is weak, does it just confuse the AI?
That's a great question. And yes, it absolutely can. If you skip this, the AI is kind of flying blind. It doesn't have a clear role or objective.
So it might give generic advice, maybe?
Exactly. Or go off on tangents.
Yeah.
This foundation prompt does those three critical jobs. Assigns the persona, performance engineer, not generic bot. Defines the playground, WordPress, Lightspeed, ads, keeps it focused, and states the finish line, past CWV.
It's not about fancy words, it's about clarity.
It slams the door on ambiguity. It gives the model its job description. Context engineering really starts here, because clarity is that first crucial piece of context that sticks.
Okay, foundation laid. Then step two, feeding the first data brick. An expert needs something to work with, right? Can't work blindfolded.
Precisely. So after clearing all the website caches, the user just pasted the entire HTML source code of the homepage.
The whole thing. Minified CSS, scripts, everything.
Everything. Right into the chat. The prompt was simple. Here is the raw HTML after a clean cache purge. Analyze any performance bottlenecks.
And Gemini could handle that.
Yep. Thanks to that massive million token context window we hear about now, it just ingested it.
Wow.
And its first reply immediately spotted things. Unused CSS, JavaScript blocking rendering, suspicious ad slots.
So giving it the real thing is better than describing.
Way better.
Yeah.
Because the model has actual facts to work with, and facts stick in the context.
Okay, stage set, raw data in. Now, step three sounds like where the real collaboration happens. Iterating for deeper context, like a quick stand-up meeting.
That's a perfect way to put it. It really became this living back and forth. It sharpens the shared understanding between the user and the AI.
So what did that look like?
Well, first loop, user purged the Lightspeed cache again, just to be sure, then reported back. No visible speed change. This ruled out stale caching.
Good troubleshooting.
Yep. Second loop, user got specific with numbers. Mobile page speed score is 74. CLS, that's cumulative layout shift, is 0.314. I suspect the ad scripts.
Giving it concrete data points?
Exactly. And suddenly, Gemini zoomed right in. It identified div containers loading ads, but without a predefined height.
Ah, so when the ad finally loaded...
A page jumps. Layout shift. Hurts the CLS score. Gemini explained exactly that.
Okay, that's super specific. Was there a third loop? Did it get even deeper?
It did. Gemini then asked a clarifying question.
Yeah.
How are the ads injected? Inline script or a third-party tag?
Trying to pinpoint the mechanism.
Right. And the user replied, third-party network, async script, no fixed container height. That final piece of info gave the model enough context to figure out a precise plan.
So each little exchange added another piece to the puzzle.
Another brick in the wall of understanding. The AI's own internal reasoning, like its chain of thought, could stay focused because the bigger picture was already established in the chat history, in the context.
And then came step 4, what the guide calls the money shot, requesting the high-value deliverable.
Yes, and crucially, the user only asked for this after that context stack felt really solid. They didn't jump the gun.
What was the prompt?
Something like, based on everything we've discussed, give me the CSS code that will reserve space for these ad containers and kill that CLS spike.
Super targeted ask.
And Gemini delivered exactly one block of CSS code. No fluff, just the code to set a fixed vertical space for the ads.
And the result?
Phenomenal, according to the guide. Mobile score jumped to 80, CLS score went green, and the whole process, about 15 minutes of chat.
Wow, 15 minutes, zero hair pulling.
Zero hair pulling.
Yeah.
Because the AI didn't just guess or throw out 20 generic tips. It gave the one surgical fix based on that very specific shared context they'd built together.
Okay, and the final step, step 5. This sounds really important, but maybe easily overlooked. Saving the workspace and banking the context.
Absolutely crucial. And yeah, probably skipped way too often.
Yeah.
This step transforms that temporary chat session into a lasting asset.
How do they do that?
Problem solved, CLS fixed. The user then simply titled the chat something clear, like website speed optimization, CLS and ads fix, and pinned it.
So it's saved and easy to find again.
Exactly. And this preserved everything, every prompt, every AI response, and importantly, Gemini's internal map of that site's specific issues and fixes.
And the real power comes later.
Bingo. 6 days later, a new warning pops up. This time, high total blocking time, TBT.
Another speed metric.
Right. So the user reopened that exact same chat, didn't start a new one, and typed something like, new issue, TBT is high on mobile. You already know my site stack. What are the likely culprits?
Leveraging the banked context.
Precisely. And Gemini replied in seconds. They remembered the previous ad fix and immediately suggested tweaking how an old analytics script was lazy loading it.
No need to re-explain the whole setup.
None whatsoever. No rediscovery phase. Context engineering literally turned that chat into a living project file. It gets smarter every time you go back to it.
That's really powerful. So looking at that whole 5-step loop, why does it work so well so consistently?
It boils down to a few core reasons, I think. First, that role clarity up front. A strong foundation prompt sets the right direction from the start.
Get the job description right.
Second, real data beats summaries. Giving it the raw HTML told a much richer story than just describing the problem.
Facts over descriptions.
Third, those short iterative turns. It keeps the thinking process manageable, both for you and for the AI. Less cognitive load.
Little steps.
Fourth, making that precise ask only after the context is built. You avoid those frustrating generic shotgun answers.
Ask for the solution when you both understand the problem.
Exactly. And finally, the persistent memory. Saving the chat turns a one-off fix into an evolving knowledge base you can tap into again and again.
You can really see how that pattern applies to almost any complex task. The AI goes from being a stranger to an expert on your project.
Faster each time you use this method.
Yeah. Okay, this is clearly a huge leap forward. Seeing AI used this way feels different. What actually changed in the AI technology itself to make this level of context engineering possible now?
That's a great question. Context engineering is really taking off because the hardware and the model designs have finally caught up. They allow...
What's the biggest factor?
Probably the sheer size of the context windows available now. It's genuinely revolutionary.
We hear these big numbers like 1 million tokens.
Right. In 2025, you've got models like GPT-4o with 128K, Claude Sonnet hitting 200K, Gemini 2.5 Pro at 1 million, maybe even more coming.
1 million tokens. What does that actually mean in practice? Help me grasp that scale.
Okay, think about it like this. 1 million tokens is roughly 750,000 words. That means you could paste, say, an entire large code base,
Wow.
or a full novel, or maybe weeks of meeting transcripts into the AI's working memory for a single session.
And still have room to ask questions.
And still have plenty of room for detailed follow-up conversation. It's like going from having a tiny sticky note for memory to having an entire library instantly accessible.
That's mind-boggling compared to just a couple of years ago.
It really is. And even when that massive window isn't quite enough, That's where RAG comes in retrieval augmented generation.
RA. Okay, what does that do?
RAG basically lets the AI pull in specific, relevant snippets from external documents on demand, dynamically adding them to the context.
So it can pull from outside the main chat window.
Exactly. So suddenly, AI memory isn't just a cool trick, it's actual infrastructure. It can access vast external knowledge bases intelligently.
And there are other features helping too.
Yeah, you're seeing more truly stateful AI features built in now. Things like automatic summaries of long conversations, user profiles that store your preferences long-term.
So it remembers you across different chats.
Potentially, yeah. Features that store long-term preferences. It all makes the assistant feel less like a tool you pick up and put down and more like, well, like a colleague who just never sleeps.
It's fascinating how these technologies layer together. Can you break down that engine room a bit more? What are the essential layers making context engineering work under the hood?
Sure. You can think of it as roughly 3 core layers working together in a successful context engineering setup.
Okay, layer 1.
First is the memory layer. This is where user preferences, the chat history itself, and potentially links to relevant documents are stored. Think of things like ChatGPT's custom instructions or Anthropic's memory beta feature. It's a persistent storage.
Got it, layer 2.
Second is retrieval. This is the mechanism, often oral, that pulls in that just-in-time data when the immediate context window isn't enough or needs external facts. This involves things like vector databases. Pinecomb's a popular one to efficiently search vast amounts of information.
So memory is what's stored, retrieval is how it fetches more when needed. What's the third layer?
The third is reasoning. This is the AI's logic engine. It handles the complex task processing, like planning steps, sometimes called plan and act loops, or following complex instructions, chain of thought prompting. You see this in action with things like GPT-4o's function calling, or Gemini 2.5 Pro's ability to create and execute plans.
Memory, retrieval, reasoning. Those 3 layers power the whole thing.
They work together, feeding that huge context window and making what's essentially a stateless model feel like a persistent, knowledgeable teammate.
That web development example was so clear, but it makes me wonder, is this just a tech thing? Is context engineering mostly for developers and engineers, or are we seeing it used more broadly?
Oh, it's way broader. It's being applied all over the place, often in really creative ways.
Like where? Give us some examples.
Okay, take developers first. The guide mentions Riley, a staff engineer. He uses it for what he calls bug hunts at ludicrous speed.
Sounds good.
Right. His AI assistant has access to a vector database containing their entire code base and past incident reports, the postmortems.
So it remembers old bugs?
Exactly. It can link a new error report to similar conditions from months ago, suggesting patches based on past successful fixes. He's apparently fixing bugs in 15 minutes that used to take 3 hours.
Whoa. Okay, that's a huge productivity boost. What about a less technical field like marketing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about Dana, a marketing manager. She uses her AI for campaigns with built-in memory.
Built-in memory? How?
Her assistant has been fed all their brand guidelines, key audience personas, past campaign performance data, all that context.
So when she needs a new campaign,
She can just ask for, say, a new email sequence or social media concepts, and the AI automatically reuses the vibe from previous successful campaigns. Keeps the brand voice spot on, helps hit deadlines, consistency and speed.
okay, I can see that. What about fields with massive amounts of text, like law?
Oh yeah, perfect use case. The guide talks about Amir, a litigation associate. He uses it for evidence sprints instead of document drudgery.
Evidence sprints, meaning?
He can upload, say, a massive 1,100-page deposition transcript into a RAG system, and then ask the AI to instantly list every contradiction within that document, or cross-check specific statements against known legal precedents stored elsewhere.
So instead of reading for days,
He gets bullet points and summaries in seconds. It frees him up for actual legal strategy, not just tedious keyword searching.
incredible. And one more, maybe research. Academics drowning in papers.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Lena, a PhD candidate in neuroscience. Her challenge is the sheer volume of new research. The fire hose, as she calls it.
I can imagine.
She feeds her AI assistant new relevant papers daily. The AI summarizes the hypotheses, flags disagreements between papers, points out methodological differences,
Synthesizing information.
and even helps draft sections for her own manuscripts, using phrasing consistent with her previous writing. It turns that overwhelming avalanche of PDFs into coherent, evolving insight.
Wow. Developer, marketer, lawyer, researcher. It's clearly versatile. What's the common thread here? Why does it work so well across these different domains?
The pattern is really clear when you look at these examples, and the guide highlights it well. Rich context reduces friction. Less time explaining, more time doing.
Makes sense.
Memory compound efficiency. The more you use it, the smarter and faster it gets for your specific needs.
The investment pays off over time.
Exactly. And maybe most importantly, the human stays firmly in charge. It's about augmenting our abilities, our judgment, not replacing us.
That's a really crucial point. It's augmentation, not automation.
Right.
Okay, this is leading to a fascinating idea. It sounds like when we practice context engineering consistently, we're not just getting better outputs from the AI, we're actively training something very personal. This concept of a digital twin. What is that exactly?
It's a really powerful concept, isn't it? A digital twin in this context is essentially becoming this cloud-based shadow of your professional self. It knows your craft, your preferences, your specific projects, your workflow intimately.
A shadow that knows your craft. I like that. How does it develop?
It grows over time, usually through a few stages. First, you give it the seed context, that initial foundation prompt defining its role, maybe some core preferences, your long-term goals.
Laying the groundwork.
Then, incremental memories get added with every single chat, every document you feed it, every correction you make. It learns from interaction.
Constantly updating.
Which leads naturally to autonomous retrieval. The twin starts anticipating your needs, fetching relevant data from its memory or RG sources before you even explicitly ask for it.
Getting proactive.
Exactly. And the final stage is maybe proactive suggestions, where it starts nudging you with relevant insights, potential next steps, or warnings based on its deep understanding of your work and past patterns.
It's like building your own highly personalized AI sidekick, tailored to how you think and work.
Precisely. Custom tuned to your brain in a way.
So, okay, if we're building this deeply personalized digital twin, that immediately brings up questions of trust and alignment. How do you ensure this thing stays helpful, stays aligned with your goals, and crucially, keeps your sensitive information private?
That is absolutely paramount. If this twin remembers the details of your sensitive projects or client work, privacy and control are non-negotiable.
What does that look like, practically?
Well, technically, it means things like ensuring the vector stores where its memories are kept are properly encrypted, setting clear data retention policies, maybe memories older than X months get automatically purged.
Security measures.
And having access to audit logs so you can actually see how it's using the information and what data it's accessing. Transparency.
And what about alignment? Making sure it doesn't go off the rails.
That's just as important. If your digital twin starts drifting, maybe making suggestions that don't fit your style or seem counterproductive, you need the ability to correct it. That might mean resetting parts of its memory, or more likely going back and refining that core system prompt, that foundational instruction set. You need to be able to steer it.
So it's a balance. You want the benefits of that compounding context, but you absolutely need to maintain control and trust.
It's a key challenge and opportunity.
Let's zoom out a bit. What are the bigger economic implications here? If individuals start having these powerful, personalized AI assistants, how does that change the landscape for businesses, for careers?
I think the impact is potentially huge. When every expert, every knowledge worker can deploy a bespoke AI assistant like this, that productivity curve we talked about, it really bends sharply.
In what ways?
You'll likely see solo consultants, freelancers punching way above their weight. They'll have assistants remembering every client detail, every past project nuance.
Competing with larger firms more easily?
Potentially, yeah. You could see micro teams, just a few people, shipping complex software features or launching sophisticated marketing campaigns that maybe once took a 50-person department. And niche researchers. They could synthesize insights across disciplines in ways that were previously impossible without massive institutional resources. It democratizes high-level knowledge work to some extent.
So what does this mean for the workforce overall? Does it replace jobs?
The narrative isn't really about the workforce vanishing. It's more about a fundamental upskilling.
How so?
Knowing how to effectively manage these AI interactions, how to curate context, how to structure these conversations, how to prune the chat history, when to fine-tune versus just prompt. These skills become incredibly valuable. They become like career oxygen.
So the job becomes managing the AI collaborator effectively?
In many roles, yes. That becomes a core competency.
Okay, this is super practical. For listeners who are thinking, right, I want to start doing this, what are some concrete best practices they can implement in their daily AI use starting today?
Absolutely. The guide lays out some really actionable tips. First off, chunk information.
Yeah.
Don't dump a massive wall of text on the AI all at once. Feed it context in smaller, digestible bites. It processes better that way.
Bite-sized context, got it.
Second, name your sessions clearly. Seriously, untitled chat is useless later. Use descriptive titles like that website speed optimization example. It makes banked context actually findable.
Good point. Avoid the chat graveyard.
Exactly. Third, use retrieval, not dumping for really big stuff. If you have huge documents or code bases, put them in a vector database or similar system, then use rgag to pull only the relevant pieces into the chat context when needed. Keeps the main chat cleaner.
Smart. Don't overwhelm the immediate conversation.
Fourth, force explain backs. Regularly ask the assistant to paraphrase your instructions or the constraints you've given it. Okay, just to make sure we're on the same page, tell me what you understand the goal to be. It confirms alignment.
Checking for understanding.
Yeah.
Crucial. What else?
Fifth, log key decisions. At the end of a significant interaction or session, maybe jot down a quick summary in the chat itself, like, okay, decision made, we're implementing the CSS fix. This helps future you and the AI remember the conclusion.
Creating a breadcrumb trail.
Sixth, periodically rotate the system prompt. That initial foundation prompt. It might need updating as the project evolves or as you refine your needs. Don't let it get stale or bloated. Prune and refactor it occasionally.
Keep the core instructions fresh.
Seventh, compare models. Sometimes take the same context, bundle the foundation prompt plus key data, and run it through different models. See how Claude, GPT, Gemini, or others respond. It's a quick reality check, helps you understand their strengths and weaknesses.
Get a second opinion from a different AI.
Nice. And finally, number 8, automate hygiene. If the AI gives you code, lint it. If it gives you database queries, test them. Sanitize outputs. Don't just blindly trust. Build in checks and balances.
Verify, then trust. Good list.
Follow those, and you'll definitely see a real difference in your AI productivity, probably quite quickly.
This has been fascinating. It really feels like this deep dive has shown us the future of how we interact with AI isn't about chasing that one perfect magic phrase anymore. That lone wolf prompt idea is fading.
It really is. The big takeaway, I think, is exactly that. Stop prompting. Start collaborating.
Elaborating through context.
Yes, and the skills needed for this, they are absolutely learnable. It's a process. And the improvements you get, they stack up fast, like compound interest for your productivity.
Context engineering is like upgrading from dial-up to broadband for your AI use.
That's a great way to put it. It's the broadband upgrade, and the bandwidth is only increasing. We're talking million token windows today.
Who knows what's next? 2 million. More.
Exactly. The assistants just keep getting better at remembering more for longer without losing track.
So the technology is ready.
All that's left, really, is for us to get good at feeding them the right stories, the right context.
So the final thought for our listeners.
Write your story, feed it to the AI conversation by conversation, then watch as your own digital twin starts to take shape, ready to sprint right alongside you. The race is definitely on, and this time, context wins.